So I will start then. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our July coffee morning. I can't quite believe that. My name is Samantha Grant, and I'm a director of the IAB for those that don't know me, and I'll be the host for today's session. Before I introduce our speakers and we get on with today, I have, oh, sorry, I was just checking that it was recording. But yes, I'm going to kick off some reminders. So first of all is membership renewals. So I mentioned this a few sessions ago, and it's kind of reoccurring just like renewals. But so despite payment now being by subscription, you must still complete the membership renewal form and provide an up-to-date DBS. And this is in addition to the subscription money being taken. So if you see the money go out of your account, it doesn't automatically mean that you are renewed from a membership perspective. So you'll get a renewal email. So please do check junk. Hopefully they won't be in junk, but please do check your emails. And obviously you'll be sent reminders in the usual fashion. This also goes for AML supervision renewal or application. You must review and submit your AML complete profile to activate your membership. So all emails will be sent out on this, so do look out for them. So to recap, there's three parts. So there's a subscription payment, there is a renewal form, and there's a DPS certificate. So without all three, we can't renew your membership. And we've just had a few people getting a little bit confused as to thinking their membership's renewed and it hasn't. So please do take note on that. Obviously, membership are on hand to help, but I just wanted to remind everybody again. Also, in the June newsletter, and I did mention this in the last coffee morning as well, some of our ambassadors are offering to meet up in person in their closest city. Now, I know it's raining now, but the sun is meant to be coming back, I hope. And with the nice sunny weather, this is a bit of a trial over the summer. But, it's a good excuse to get out and about, change of scenery, a bit of a change of routine. So the ambassadors that are able to do this are Karen Ballock, who is in the rugby area, Nikki Holland, Newport or Cardiff, Karen Hollis, who can either go to Stratford-upon-Avon, Leamington Spa or Warwick, Joyce O'Leary, who would go to Bishop Stortford, Hertford or Hatfield, Caroline Metcalf, York, and Sharon Carter, Salisbury. Now, I appreciate that this isn't UK-wide, because it is a trial. But if you are interested, please do notify them. So you can either put your name in the chat now, and we can give you their details, or go back to look at the June newsletter. Their contact details will be on the attachment, or just email membership. But it'd be great to take up the opportunity and to connect in person with other members. I'm sure those that do it do find it useful. My final reminder today is CPD. So as you are all aware, this very coffee morning awards you one verified CPD point. So tick box there. Everyone here is going to get one verified CPD point and a certificate proving that. So file that away, because over the course of the year, all members are required to achieve 30 points, which I know many of you are aware. And this is over a 12-month period. You need to have 10 verifiable points. So 10 of those 30 need to be verifiable. So, if there's 12 coffee mornings in a year, you're going to be ticking by attending every one, which is great for your verifiable points. But then there's 20 non-verified points. And these 30 points coincide with your certificated membership year. So when you renew your membership, you do need to upload your CPD. So if you want more information on what constitutes, obviously we have member benefit partners like Corona Eye, for example. So when the webinars are sent out, they also benefit a CPD as well. So you can log that and record it. But there's more information on the website in the members area. So you have to be logged in and go to the members area to look at the CPD support and policy and tips on how you can achieve your CPD. So it was just to remind you that that's there. We're going to be sending other prompts out as well. But yeah, do be vigilant that you do need those 30 points at renewal as well. So now over to our speakers. And when we're talking about themes today, the first theme is that they're both called math. So it's a math-themed coffee morning today, which is very easy on my part because I can't get their names wrong. Also, though, truly the theme of our two MAT speakers is savings and revenue generation, which are excellent topics, and I'm sure very relevant to all of you. Our first speaker will be Matt Gilbert, who's the founder of Synapto, which is a next-gen payments platform. And I met Matt's colleagues at Accountex in May recently, actually. And then subsequently, Matt and I have had a few meetings. But Synapto is about making digital payments. And obviously, digital payments are an intrinsic part of day-to-day business, but also a costly one, which is why I think this proposition is so compelling, and thought it would be really good for Matt to come to the coffee morning and share this his business. It is a startup company, but ultimately, from what I know, the perception is that the market leaders pretty much sewn it up. So what's great about this, that even though Synapto's new, it's the tech that delivers, say, the tech that is the point of difference rather than the financial infrastructure. So it's still very strong underneath. And Matt will give you an update or give you an overview on that, but it's a really interesting insight, which I'm sure you'll find useful. And then second will come to Matt Chapman, who's from Company Protection. Many of you will recognise Matt. He also did a short video in the last newsletter where he previewed this session and also spoke about the tool that he's going to be talking about, which is very exciting. So Matt and his team are long-standing partners of the IAB, so I'm sure we've seen him before. And as an member benefit,
no, it shouldn't. So it's sort of 2-1, isn't it?
That's please.
From that point of view. So that means I've won.
And thank you. So recently, Matt and the team met with our ambassadors. Company Protection provide business resilience products as a member benefit. And they wanted to speak to our ambassadors about how best to serve you as a sector, as an industry, and make their products more accessible. And I'm going to name check Sharon Carter and Karen Hollis, and I'm sure Matt will as he talks as well. Because the team spoke to them to better understand how their services could be used. And they got some great insight, which is what Matt's going to talk to you about today. And one of the key things is when it comes to advisory services, there is often a hesitation around how to introduce them, or it could be a little bit difficult to talk to clients about that in conversations. And this is exactly how this new tool that Company Protection have developed is going to make that process much more easier and much more natural. So to put it into context, when we're speaking about the practice scalability framework, I know we always tend to talk about growth. Many of you are maybe quite happy with the size of your practice, and it's not necessarily about growth, because the framework is just as much about efficiency and maximising what you're already doing. So whether you're looking to expand your services or whether you're looking to stay as you are, this approach and this tool can give you a real point of difference. But ultimately, either way, it can generate additional revenue for you. So I think it's a really interesting proposition that Matt and his team have generated, and it's also born out of insight from IAB ambassadors, and it's new to the market, so it's quite an exciting day. So I'm going to pass you over to the first Matt Gilbert. Over to you.
Thanks, Sam, and thank you for having me. And really lovely to meet everyone. I'm amazed by quite the attendance. It's brilliant. Yes, as Sam said, I'm Matt Gilbert. I'm the founder and CEO of Synapto. And yeah, Sam, great intro there. I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head. I think really what I want to talk to you all about today, and I'll just bring some slides up in a second, is just why are payments so expensive? I suppose backtracking slightly, what do we mean by digital payments? Just so that we're all talking the same language. Why are they really expensive, and what
Matt's connection gone? Or is it mine? Right, I think Matt's connection's gone. Matt Chapman, could you could we bring you forward, please, so Matt can get his connection back?
Yes, of course you can. Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. I guess I'll step in and hopefully try and save
Thank
the.
you very much.
Very joking. Have I got ability to share my screen in a minute, Sam? Is that all right as well?
Yes, you're good to go, Mariska says.
Lovely, fantastic. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you again, Sam, for having us and for the wonderful introduction. I think, just like Matt was probably about to say, it was a perfect introduction explaining exactly what we've been trying to do. I appreciate the IB giving me the chance to come on the coffee morning. For those of you who haven't met me before or don't know me, my name's Matt Chapman. I'm a director at Company Protection. Now, we do, as Sam said, business resilience products. So we're talking about the insurance products that protect the individuals inside a business, whether they're an owner or a key person or they've got debts in the organization. We arrange products to make sure the business can remain financially resilient when things go wrong or those individuals get ill or even pass away unexpectedly. Now, the good news is we've been working really closely with the IB and its ambassadors, as Sam alluded to a minute ago, to develop something really practical, really relevant, really cool, and it's been designed specifically with accountants and bookkeepers in mind. Now, I want to explain briefly why we think this is going to matter to you. And it goes back to what Sam was saying, which is the challenges that many of you face in your practices. So, trying to scale and grow your practice can be a little bit daunting. So, if you think about that practice scalability framework that Sam mentioned, you think about what it is you're wanting to achieve, so which step you're trying to go from, where you are and where you want to get to, think about how you might actually do that and the barriers that you're facing trying to achieve that. But one of the best ways for you to do that is to focus on providing advisory and additional professional services to your clients. But one thing's for sure, clients don't just expect compliance from you. They want you to guide them, they want you to give them insights, and they want that reassurance from you about what it is you're doing with them. So moving towards advisory from where you're at can feel a little bit challenging, and we totally get that. We understand that. You've got to worry about the time it spends to learn about these different services, the confidence in speaking with them with a degree of authority or confidence, right? You've got that natural fear of rejection or even damaging relationships, uncertainty, or even how to start. And we completely get that. Okay. Clients don't always expect those conversations from you either. So it can feel a little bit left field sometimes if you don't know how and when to bring these things up. You don't know maybe who to speak to, when to discuss things like business protection. And that can all make it very difficult for you guys to then move through that scalability framework to get yourselves to the next level because you don't have the information or the knowledge to move forward with confidence. But, and I'll say this, those bookkeepers, those accountants who can solve this problem are naturally able to unlock stronger client relationships, build more trust in their services, earn additional income, and have the opportunity to both grow and future-proof their practice so they can move that scalability framework. So I want to talk about what we've tried to do to solve these problems for you to make that even easier. So what we've done is we developed something called the IAB Referral Hub and the Business Resilience Check. Okay. So this has been built completely with IAB ambassador input. It's not theory, it's completely shaped by your peers. The new hub we've built has been born out of insights from your very own ambassadors. And as you mentioned a second ago, Sam, we've got Sharon Carter and Karen Hollis, who were brilliant and shared so much knowledge and time, and we can't thank them enough. And what they've done is helped us design tools that will work for you in your role and in your practices. It's designed to bridge that knowledge gap, to open doors, and to help you effortlessly unlock opportunities to earn additional income and to grow and scale your practice easily. So what the system does is very simple. It naturally identifies gaps in a business's financial resilience, which is ideal for the types of customers you're speaking to. So it eradicates itself the very need for you to know who, how, and when to bring up our services because it does the heavy lifting for you. It generates a personalized, client-friendly report that you will also receive a copy of, so you have that potential talking point without needing to know about what we do or how it works. It hands the advice off to our FCA regulated experts. So again, you don't need to worry about handing them over. It tracks the referrals. It updates you automatically. And do you know what's brilliant about this? That at the minute, we're paying an average of just under £1,000 per successful case to everyone that comes across from our partners. Okay. So just under £1,000, £945. Sorry, I can't hear you, Sam. Sorry, you're on mute.
Sorry. Are you no slides coming up? Is it just my
No,
screen?
I'm just talking for now.
All right, sorry.
I'm going to actually give everyone a sorry. Don't
Sorry,
worry, I'm going to give everyone a tour in a minute. I just wanted to explain what I've done first, and then I wanted to let you go. No, thanks, Sam. Just wanted to let you guys jump in and then have a quick look afterwards. But what we've designed it to do is basically help you start conversations really easily with existing customers. You can use it to add value at year-end reviews, or even when you're onboarding your customers, it can just perform an automatic part of your process. You can use it to re-engage dormant clients or even ones you don't speak to anymore. You can use it to demonstrate that proactive, trusted support that helps you add even more value to your service and strengthen those relationships. So what we're going to do in a second, I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the system. And then once you've seen it, I'll explain what you're going to get as a result. So what I'll do now is I'll briefly share my screen. I've got to load this up now. Just bear with me. Can you guys see that on the screen? I can't see you anymore, Sam, so I don't even know if it's okay. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes, we can now. We can now. I was just too excited to see it.
Perfect.
That was all.
Bless you. Thank you very much. So what you can probably see on the screen right now, right, is our homepage for the referral hub that we've built. So a bit later on in the chat, I'm going to send you a link to register. And when you register, you'll fill in your details using this form here, and that'll send an automatic response through to us. We'll then get you set up with an account. You'll have your own unique password and login details. Then you can access the hub and start using the tools, track your referrals, generate automatic reports, that sort of stuff, and I'll show you how it works. So let's assume you've got an account. I'm going to show you using my login details. We're going to log in here. So this is me here. That's my account details. And this is what you'll see when you log in for the first time. So this is kind of our main homepage. We've designed this system so that you can access everything from the homepage. Everything is just one click away. Now, what we've done is we've put a load of resources over here. So within the resources section, you've got all sorts of resources, and you'll see at the top here, there's guidance for accountants, guidance for bookkeepers, which include videos and downloadable guides as to how you can talk to your customers, what you might want to say to them, how, when you might want to bring this up. But that's not the good bit. I'll show you the good bit in just a minute. But we've also got a couple of helpful video guides in here as well, which talk about times things to talk about, why our products are so important, so critical for SMEs. We've got a bit of information about the solutions that we offer. There's some FAQs in there as well, a little overview of our products and services. But this is the thing I thought you might find interesting. So this table here shows what you could expect to earn by working with us as a referral partner. And if you're able to just send, say, one referral that's successful per month,
Is now Matt frozen? Oh dear. No, hold on. He's going to try resharing, I think. Sorry about this, everybody. Technical
sorry guys, I don't know
difficulties.
what's happened there. My internet's just kicked me out as well. Not had that before. Is everyone okay? Can you hear me again?
Can hear you again now, yeah. Try resharing.
Sorry, I'll go back into the site. Can you see that now? Is it up on the screen again?
It will be soon. I know I keep thinking, people saying they keep thinking it's them. I keep thinking
Back
it's
on the
me as
screen?
well. I think it's coming up. It just took a while.
Well, I'm definitely sure it's me.
Maybe it's the double Matt thing. You've both been cursed with internet
No worries.
issues.
It's saying my internet connection's unstable. It's been absolutely fine, but of course it's decided to be unstable this morning.
Oh, yeah, it's nothing
Can you
coming
see
up.
that?
No, can't see anything. Ah, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah, back. We can see it now.
What's the night? Oh, right. Okay. 1 second. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Is that sharing now?
No, it was sharing before and then it's gone again. Right, we're just waiting for it to come up now. Here we go. You're up. Let's
No
go.
worries.
Let's go.
I'll let it load. Hey. Apologies, everyone. I don't quite know what's going on with the internet today. I've had no problems at all, but for some reason it's doing it now. So you can see this now, yeah, on the screen.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Well, I'll go to the referral tracker page.
I suppose while we're talking, I know Matt's going to send links to this, but it's also accessible via the member benefit area as well, everybody. So if you go to the member benefit area, you can access this platform from there too. And all of this lovely content on there would would count against non-verifiable CPD, actually, if you wanted to log it while we're here.
I've switched over to my mobile phone now, hoping it'll work, but is that working now?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've switched over to my mobile phone, believe it or not. It's actually quicker than the router now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Anyway, long story short, this is the referral tracker, which shows you all of the leads that you've sent over to us. And the way you do it, and this is where it gets really cool. So I'm going to show you this very quickly because I think this is going to be the bit that everyone gets excited about. Recognizing that it's almost impossible to expect you guys to understand how to even discuss our solutions with your customers or even when to bring it up with them, we've created something called the Business Resilience Check. And the Business Resilience Check involves 5 simple questions that will diagnose your customer's business and tell them if they've got problems or not, and explain what they might want to do about it, right? So it takes all that heavy lifting, all that need to understand what we do, and it gets rid of it using a very simple client-friendly solution. And you've got 2 choices to use this. You can either use your unique link, which is created when you set up your account with us, to send the link to the customer. And you can either do it by one of the templates we've created. So we've got accountants and bookkeeper templates that you can use, and the unique link sits inside it. Or you can draft your own email and send the link out to the client. It really doesn't matter. You can do it on text message, you can do it on email, you can do it any way you want to. And once that client receives that unique link, this is what happens. They'll press the button and it will launch the tool. You can also do that with your customer directly. So if you wanted to do them sat in a set next to you as part of a client meeting, or you wanted to do it over Teams or Zoom the way we are right now, you could also launch the tool and fill it in with them. You've got those 2 choices. And this is what happens when you launch the tool. Can everyone see that screen change? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what happens is it launches the resilience check, and all that happens is you start the check. It explains it only takes a few minutes, a couple of questions. In this case, we're going to assume it's a limited company, and we're doing it. It's got maybe 6 to 10 employees. We click on next, and then the questions start. And there's only 5 basic questions. It takes less than 5 minutes to complete. The first one is to do with ownership and retaining control of the business, because we know that over 91% of businesses have no formal succession plans. So this question is just to understand if they've got anything in place already, if they have any kind of plans. So the question we ask is there sufficient cash set aside to cover each shareholder's share, along with up-to-date agreements to ensure a smooth transfer? Now, because we know most companies haven't, they're probably likely to say no, right? On the next screen, it then talks about commitments and liabilities. And we know that the average company has around £250,000 worth of debt, whether that's through lease agreements, mortgages, commercial debts, or directors' loan accounts. But in this case, we're going to say the business doesn't have any debts or liabilities. We'll just be generous in this situation. The next one talks about key people and business continuity. And we prompt them to think about who's key in their business. So who could the business not live without? And what we do is we ask the question, how many key people do you have in your business? And they get to select. In this case, I'm going to say just me. Then we move on to the next screen, and then it asks, because we've got a key person, do you have insurance in place to cover their loss? Now, in this case, I'm going to say no. The final question is, we ask them if they'd like to know about tax efficient life insurance. So we have a number of products that are incredibly tax efficient that allow them to move the cost of their personal cover over to the business, and it can be tax efficient for them. So we're going to say in this case, yes, I'm interested. And that's literally it. That's all you've got to do with the customer. But what's really cool, guys, is you'll see on the screen, it says, because you're professional advisor Matthew Chapman, that would be your name. So your name would automatically feature on this report. So it shows that you're the one that's encouraging them to do it. So what I'll do is I'll put Matt's Business, to help if I could spell, Matt's Business Limited. My name's Matt Business. My email address is matthew@companyprotection.co.uk, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to fill in telephone numbers, but we need the email address so that we can send them the digital report that gets created. Once you've done that, you get taken through to some results and insights. There's a video there in which I explain how to make sense of the results and the insights. But as you move through the screens, it tells you whether in each of those sections the customer's got a high level of risk, a medium level of risk, or a low level of risk. So it's doing all the education and risk analysis for you, so you don't even need to talk to them about it. As they move through, it tells them the risks of taking no action, the benefits of doing something about it, but also a surprising statistic that they might not be aware of. In this case, like I say, only 9% of businesses have any kind of succession plans in place. That's where there's no debt. So they're saying it's not applicable. So the system's smart enough to work out what level of risk are. And here I'm saying we know there's no coverage place to protect the business against their loss. We reckon that there's a high level of risk involved. And that's all they need to
Sorry, it's very unstable, this.
Carries all
Matt,
the way.
there we
Yes,
go.
sorry.
It keeps cutting in and out, Matt. Sorry.
Don't apologize. It's because my internet's completely terrible today for some unknown reason. I don't know if that's finished there anyway, but like I say, what's going to happen then is the report gets generated automatically. So you don't need to do anything. The report goes out to the customer and a copy also goes to you. So I'll try and load up my email actually to show you what it looks like, because that would be really cool. If I can show you how it's come through. Bear with me. I'm going to share again. So I don't know if you guys can see my mailbox there.
Yeah, it's
Is that now showing?
Here we go. Yep, see mailbox.
There you go. So because imagine in this case, I'm the bookkeeper, I'm the accountant, an email would come through, and in that email, it's going to show me. I'm going to move over to my phone again because it's really slow.
Joys of internet.
Oh, it's terrible. I can only apologize. I don't know if you guys can see this now. Probably not. It's not even loading, is it?
No.
Long story short, I'm going to stop sharing and just present because it's driving me nuts. Anyway, long story short, what happens is a customized report goes out to the customer. And if you guys want to, at the end of today's session, just register and go around and play on the system, get yourselves an account and play around in it to get familiar with it. I'll do some follow-up calls where I'll teach you how to use it and I'll show you how it works properly when I've got a proper internet connection sorted. But what's really good about it is it will show you how to use the system. You'll get to see the reports. You'll get to see what the customer sees. But what it does, it automatically creates the referral in your referral tracker. So when at some point we engage with the customer, either with your prompt or because we get to speak to them, then you'll automatically receive the commission for that case because it was done using your unique link. So it does all that knowledge piece for them. It does all the educational piece for them. You don't need to worry about knowing about what we do. You just need to identify if your customer's at risk or not. Finally, the emails come up. It's just come through. So that report goes out, copy goes to you. You've then got talking points to do with them. So all I would say to you is, if you're interested in using this system to help scale your practice, if you'd like to see it in a bit more detail when I've got proper internet connection and not this dodgy one I've got here today, I can set that up for you, show you how to use it, give you guidance on what to do. We've got all sorts of tools and resources inside the hub that are going to help you. And we can do some follow-up courses on how you can start engaging with your customers and using the tools that we've done. Now, I'll happily open the floor up for questions because I'm conscious of time and I don't want to take away from Matt's presentation either. But you don't need to worry about paperwork. You don't need to worry about admin. You don't need to become a product expert. We've deliberately built this with support of the IAB ambassadors to make life super easy for you guys so you don't even need to worry. What I'm going to do, if it's okay, is I'm going to put in the chat a link to refer or register with us, I should say. So that's our registration link there. If anybody wants to register today, that's absolutely fine. And what we can do is reach out to you directly to book up a follow-up call where I can walk you through how to use the system, how you can leverage those opportunities, how you can go through those business resilience checks with your customers, and then potentially create those opportunities automatically without you needing to know anything about what we do. So if anyone's interested, click on the link, get yourselves registered, and we'll get your welcome pack sent out to you. So when you do register, we send out a wonderful welcome pack as well. It's a little box, pen, pad, some of the nice stuff in there as well. Yeah, thanks, Alistair. Apologies, my friend. I don't know what's quite going on today. It's like the gremlins are just destroying the internet for me today. Please fire away. Any questions you've got, happy to answer them.
Anyone have any questions? It's really worth just going through it. It's very intuitive to use, and very, very easy. And it's like we said at the beginning, I think that, regardless of whether you're looking at, expanding your service offering from an advisory service perspective, or whether you're just, happy servicing the clients that you've got, either way, it's a simple service to offer, or at least a simple, service to sense check with your clients whether they're covered in that way, and you can potentially earn off it as well. Someone said, can we ask you questions outside of this meeting once they've had a look? Absolutely, they can, can't they, Matt?
100%. 100%. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, just give me a shout. If you just get yourself registered on the link, what we'll do is we'll set up a separate meeting. You can ask me as many questions as you want to. We can give you a full guided tour. I'll sort my bloody internet out as well. And then we can do it properly. But yeah, absolutely. Feel free. Excellent.
Thank you, Matt. And now the other Matt, he's back with full firing internet connection. Oh, I'm going to jinx it now. Over
Maybe.
to you.
Thank you. And guys, and Matt, thank you for being my hero and jumping in there, saving the day. Fingers crossed the Matt-based curse holds off for the next 15, 20 minutes. But so where was I? Payments. So if I just share my screen, I'll just put some slides up and we can sort of talk through this. I'll do my best to try and make sure it's not death by PowerPoint for everybody. But yes, as I was saying, so Matt Gilbert, founder and CEO of Synapto. So my background is I've been in payments for about 15 years. And when I say payments, I'm predominantly talking about sort of transactions using credit and debit cards. But increasingly, this is things like open banking and consumer finance payments and all sorts of other ways that businesses want to pay and get paid.
Whoever the first person to vote was, obviously,
so sorry, and that's broadly the industry I want to talk to you about. So really, as Sam said at the outset, the point of why I wanted to talk to you today is this is becoming an increasing cost item for a lot of your customers, possibly for you as well. And we created Synapto because we actually think that we can do things a bit differently, and that instead of this being a real pain point, this can be an enabler and even a revenue stream for people such as yourselves and your practices. So why we created Synapto? Today your customers, when it's talking about payments, you've got to kind of make a bit of a difficult choice, right? So you've either got kind of let's call it the slightly more kind of old school payments companies whose names are on screen here, very solid, very reputable, and they have some very good credentials. They never go offline, and they process trillions of pounds of transactions every year, right? But really hard work to work with, especially when we're talking about embedded payments, which is what we specialize in. So, rather than just taking a payment in store on a card machine necessarily, this is about how do you create a payment that's embedded within your website, within your software, something that's kind of a bit more deeply integrated into a payment flow. And so, they're reasonably cheap. They're reasonably kind of, no frills, let's call it. And from a utility point of view, it does exactly what it says in the tin. It gives you you can take a payment, but actually from a user experience point of view, it's pretty horrendous. There's lots of reconciliation problems on the accounting side. There's lots of integration issues. Some of these guys, if you want to integrate this into your website or into your software product, it's going to take you 9 months to agree commercials. It's going to take you maybe even that long to even just integrate the technology as well. So very inflexible. So instead, a lot of people are choosing, what I would call the sort of the more modern or digital challenges in the market. And these are, the big name here is Stripe, right? There's others, Adyen and so forth. But when it comes to embedded payments, you're talking Stripe. So it's a really great customer experience. It's a very strong digital product, and it's really easy to integrate. So if you've got a website or you've got a SaaS software product, it's very quick and seamless to get that integrated. But it's really, really expensive. So, headline rates are, about 1.5%, 20p per transaction. But if you're doing something like a marketplace payout where you've got to take a payment and then split it into multiple people who need to get paid, for example, or you're wanting to embed this into, a payment into an invoice, which is obviously a flow that you guys will be very kind of attached to and know very well, suddenly these costs can creep up. And we've got a partner, for example, that's paying up to 6 or 7% once you factor in all these other sort of hidden costs for all these other hidden sort of things like creating an invoice for you, financing it, some of these things. So it can be extremely expensive. So it's really not a great choice. So you've got to choose between clunky but utility or really strong digital experience, but very expensive. And why is it so expensive? So I think, it's really, and, a lot of you will know all about this, but just very, very briefly, when you want to take a credit card payment, for example, there are fees involved. So there's the regulated fees, which is what Visa and MasterCard are charging. And then there is also the cut that is going to the bank that issues the debit or credit card that the customer wants to use to pay. But those are set in the UK and in the EU. And if you average it out, it can be around, for consumer payments, it's about 0.4%. It's higher if you're using lots of business card payments. So if it's B2B payments, it will be a lot more. But when you then think about 1.5% and 20p on the top, that there's a whole load of margin in that, and that's going straight into Stripe's pocket. And so, that's one of the big reasons. And then the other one is risk. So obviously, when a credit card payment's been made, these companies are effectively underwriting that money is going to be there and come through to the person who wants to get paid for it. And companies like Stripe are inherently taking a lot of risk on some sectors in the market, and then in others, which are a lot less risky. So a lot of your customers will have very sort of normal businesses that don't have many chargebacks, that pay their bills on time, that don't default and don't have credit issues. They are essentially underwriting that cost of riskier businesses that are taken on by these kind of companies. And so, we've just set up our business where we have basically taken and partnered with some of these legacy players, but we've built the super digitalized experience on top of it that, like we like to call it, we sort of Stripeify the old world. Without trying to infringe on anyone's copyright there, but conceptually it helps trying to think about it like that. So we basically created a way of allowing you to take digitally embedded payments and have a better option. So we give you we're averaging 34%. In a lot of areas, it's about 40% cheaper than using someone like Stripe. And this equates to thousands of pounds a year for most businesses. And obviously, depending on the size of the turnover, that can be very, very significant. And we do that because we're not working with the sort of higher risk area businesses, sort of the gambling and sort of adult entertainment and things like that. But also because we are working with kind of older providers, or more established providers that can do sort of big mass transactions, and we can pass on those good rates over across to your customers. There's no compromise on the user experience. So instead of having a really clunky, you've probably all seen them, these gateway pages where you want to pay an invoice, it redirects you somewhere. You've got to fill in all of your details, and then suddenly you realize, oh, I didn't put Mr. at the start. I've got to restart and refill in the whole form. Meanwhile, your customers dropped off because they got so fed up trying to complete the journey. That's the sort of thing that just doesn't work for your customers. So we've the Stripe-like payment. We're taking all of those great elements of user experience, and so you don't have to make those kind of compromises, but without paying that high price that we don't think is reflective of the value there. We help with easy switching. So we help both migration if you've got recurring card payments that you need to sort of move across, but also with what we call VIP onboarding. So helping customers with all of the process needed to get the account set up, go through the AML checks, all of the rigor that you need to, but without all of the effort. And then also, what probably one of the more interesting things for you guys, we have a referral partnership scheme where, depending on the card turnover of the merchant, sort of averaging between, anywhere from 300 quid for a very small one. This is sort of, £100,000 turnover business through to kind of, 1,000 to 1,500 quid for a kind of £1 million turnover sort of business. And then obviously upwards, there's more there. So this can be a very kind of ongoing, nice revenue stream for partners such as yourselves. And again, this is, these are your customers, you're providing value to them, and this is win-win. So this is not about saying, oh yeah, we've got a premium service and we can pay out using that premium. We're actually saying we're not only cutting the costs, but there's so much headroom against some of the people like Stripe that we can actually also give you a fair share there and help you get some of the value in representing and helping your customers that the likes of Stripe doesn't give you. So yeah, as I say, this is all through a single integration, and we can do card and bank payments. So, really super easy to embed checkout, and that can be through a very simple JavaScript. So kind of a plugin with no code, or if you've got a slightly more sophisticated customer that needs, a checkout embedded into, kind of a software package, then we can do that as well with sort of full support. Your customers can send out payment links, so they can take payments securely without having to take payments over the phone and take the card details and all the sort of PCI risk that goes with that. We can do that as well, but we find that increasingly customers want a secure payment link. And then we can embed these payments into things like Xero, so that when you generate an invoice, instead of having to kind of do a manual backs transfer and key it in, and you get all fat finger errors or some of those issues, that that's going to automatically be paid and also reconcile and update straight in Xero, so that you don't have that reconciliation headache of trying to check the bank account and work out what that payment was for and which invoice has been paid and what's still outstanding. We're also building an accounts payable product, which is going to allow all of that to happen a bit more seamlessly from our digital portal as well. And as I said, every transaction earns commission for the referral partner. We've also got consumer finance product, which allows your customers to pay in installments, which is essentially both buy now, pay later, but also a regulated version of that for higher value payments. And that's embedded in the same checkout experience. And we're also adding other value-added services. At the moment, the first one is invoice finance, which allows you and your customers to effectively borrow against invoices that are being generated. That's going to get orchestrated into the invoice payment product, so that when they generate an invoice and send it out to be paid, they can also borrow for the value of that invoice with some really, really good terms that work out far more cost effective than what's in the market. And so, as I said, this is really about win-win. It's savings for your customers without any compromises and revenue for you. In terms of how it works, we're embedding that into websites, SaaS and Xero. So, this is, you can take this checkout on the right, and this is, as I said, a very simple kind of plugin that will automatically connect into the website. And we can also embed that deeper. For example, we're working with software for businesses that manage appointments, manage healthcare practices, vets and dentists as a specialty, but we can work in any sector. And it also allows you to take direct debits and open banking as well. So, charity is one of the big use cases for this that we work with. But for your customers that want to take recurring payments, whether that be card, open banking, or direct debits, all of this is one integration, and all of this data. So from a reconciliation point of view, instead of having to check multiple portals for all these different payment methods, it's all in one nice place. So it's not just online. We do face-to-face payments. So we partnered with Fiserv, and so we can do face-to-face Clover terminals and other terminals in store as well. And again, transactions for that appear in the same dashboard as everything online. As I said, we can take payment links and payments over the phone as well. And there's a mobile app which allows your customers to generate those sort of links on the go, see all their transactions in one place, access things like the invoice financing wherever they are. We are connected into a whole load of different acquirers, so we are kind of agnostic of acquirer for the online stuff. So if your customers had a very bad user experience on one of the people you see online, we can embed that more deeply into their experience without them having to do any switching of their payments providers. But our main partner is Fiserv. So whilst, as Sam said, we are kind of an early stage company, we are live. We've got lots of sort of partners on the platform, and we're sort of proven already. But what sits behind us from a regulated point of view, from a PCI compliance point of view, and from the processing of transactions point of view is sort of the giant of Fiserv, which does $3.1 trillion of transactions a year. So it's a very reputable sort of name, and there's a lot of trust, confidence, and regulatory compliance there to give everyone a bit of confidence. So I hopefully keep that reasonably short. love to take some questions now. But if you are interested in having a direct conversation with myself or the team, or you think that your customers would benefit from this, or you'd like to know a little bit more about how you can turn this into a revenue generator for your practice, then just drop us a quick email at partnerships@snaptopay.com. But just throw open. I can't see the chat, so I don't know if any questions have come up. But Sam, do you want to?
Sure, you have another one just coming out. You got two questions. Firstly, one from Sarah, which says, "Do you have any experience embedding this into a golf club?"
That's a fascinating question. So we are working with a couple of golf clubs, one of which we're just about to go live with, and that is for taking the payments over the phone and sending out the payment links. The other one is a slightly longer term piece because we're trying to integrate into the software that they manage their business. So we're not live with them yet, but yeah, we are. Golf is actually a really interesting sector to us because it is, as you probably know, quite complicated in terms of there's lots of foreign cards and complexity around some of the transactions being made. So yeah, that's one of the sectors that we're sort of involved quite heavily at the moment.
That's why I asked hold on. I'm saying that's why I asked the question as they have their software. Right, okay, that's Sarah again. Does it work with Jersey non-UK entities?
So we can. Slightly complicated answers to the question. So at the moment, if your customers, that the merchants are predominantly transacting in the UK, then we can support them today. If they're registered elsewhere but are transacting in the UK, that's fine. We're going live in a few months' time with Europe, and then early next year will be US and Canada as well, which will allow us to do actual processing of transactions in those jurisdictions. Did I say something about Channel Islands and things like that? We support Channel Islands and Isle of Man, so Crown dependencies as well. That's all fine for today.
Okay, I think that's all. There's a few people having a bit of a chat with Matt. I don't know if you want to I know you had at the end of the presentation, Matt, but pop your email just in the chat so people can copy that. Obviously, I will save the presentations along with the video on the website so people can follow up there, or obviously you can contact membership as well to get any further details from Matt or Matt.
Sam, I think I may have answered Devon's question that was probably meant for the other Matt.
Okay.
Was it? And I was just thinking that. So it said yeah, when you answered it, I was like, oh right, so it was about fees, was it?
Yes, some providers collect fees on each payment. So yes, that fairly universal. You know, we're able to support both kind of card payments and we as I say, typically do that around 30 to 40% cheaper than what Stripe would be. There's not really a way around that because of the regulators and is what Visa and MasterCard charge in fees is on a per transaction basis, and that is set legally. So it's quite hard to circumvent having to take a payment on each payment. I hope that answers the question. There was one here just on practice management software. Yes, so we're engaging with a few directly, but we also have a tool that's going to go live in about 4 weeks' time, which is a booking management system which plugs into any practice management software that has an open API. And that allows your customer to connect directly through our bookings platform. It will keep the diary in sync with their PMS so that you can say, I want to take, for example, a chiropractor, which is the use case I'm talking about here. You can say, I've got availability in my PMS for this time. That gets offered up to the person trying to book through the front end. We can book through us, pay using Synapto instead of having to pay with normally Stripe, and make the saving without having to do any complicated swap out of their PMS, so they can still use that. And that is allowing us to do some really interesting things, especially around agentic AI payments as well. So we are building out some AI agents, which are allowing you to sort of communicate directly and talk about what your availability is. And as things like Gemini become more kind of prevalent in the future, this will allow some of your practices to have AI agentic payment capability kind of out the box without having to do big investment themselves and that sort of thing.
Okay, that could be a coffee morning for the future then when that gets up and running, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Any more questions for Matt or Matt? No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we're kind of finishing a little bit earlier. And the only thing I've got left to say is Accountex Manchester is starting to warm up now. So that's going to be held on the 23rd of September. We will be in attendance, so do watch out for communications on that and the ability to access your free tickets. That'll be coming around shortly. But if nobody has anything else, the next coffee morning is on the 20th of August. So I'll be sunning myself on the 20th of August. And Sarah will be your host. So look forward to seeing Sarah. With that, I'll say goodbye and thank you for joining us. We've all got, I don't know, 8 minutes back to our day.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having us. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.